1,
2,
3,
4.
5.
Hi, my name is Audrey Barton, and I would like to discuss the human memory a little bit with you today. When was that assignment due? What did I have for breakfast this morning? Well, psychologists have long studied the human memory and how we store, retrieve, and forget memories. I myself have taken a psychology course and found that memory was one of the most interesting topics that we covered. I hope to share a little bit about that with you today. So to start, how do we store memories? Memories must pass through 3 stages before being stored. The first of these is sensory memory. It is where the memory is first registered by the brain. The brain picks up on sensory clues like sound and visuals, but it only lasts a few seconds. If we give enough attention to these sensory clues, the memory will move from sensory memory to the next stage of short-term memory. The American Psychology Association, or APA, defines short-term memory as the reproduction, recognition, or recall of a limited amount of information after a period of about 10 to 30 seconds. The key word here is limited. Short-term memory has a limited capacity and a limited duration. It can't hold more than about 7 items at once, and it doesn't last for more than 30 seconds. If our brain tags a memory as important, it will be sent to the third stage. Harvard Health quotes neurologist Andrew Budson, who explains this tagging system. He says that whether or not a memory is tagged can depend on 2 factors: emotion and personal significance. The final destination that these memories move to is long-term memory, which the APA defines as a relatively permanent information storage system that enables one to make use of knowledge hours, weeks, years after it is first learned. In long-term memory, neural wiring in the brain physically changes. Basically, if you learn something, you change your brain a little bit. So how do we retrieve these memories down the road once they've been stored? Well, memories are retrieved from one of 2 sections within long-term memory. These are implicit and explicit memory. Implicit memories are retrieved without conscious effort. It's made up of mostly procedures like tying your shoe, driving a car, because you don't constantly have to think about what you're doing. If a memory does require conscious effort to remember, it is an explicit memory. Explicit memories are made up of mostly semantics like facts, meanings, numbers, concepts. So if you're studying real hard to remember a math equation, it'll be stored in explicit memory. Memories are retrieved from these sections through retrieval cues. One example of this is a web of association. Think of it like a spider web. The more associations you make between one memory and another memory, the more likely you are to remember it in the future. Another example is mnemonics, like "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally," or otherwise referred to as PEMDAS. The more cues you have, the better chance of recall you will have in the future. So, why do we forget our memories if they're so easy to retrieve? Well, there are several theories behind why we let go of some of our memories. One of these is the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve. It showed that humans forget a lot of information in the first few days of learning it, and then the rate of forgetting levels off. Praveen Shrestha demonstrates the curve by explaining that memory retention is at 100% when it is first learned, but then it drops rapidly to just 40% within a few days. Another explanation to forgetting is interference. Proactive interference means old information prevents you from remembering new information. For example, you can't remember your new phone number because you're so used to your old phone number. On the other hand, retroactive interference means new information prevents you from remembering old information. Like, a musician may struggle remembering an old song after they just finished learning a new song, because the new song is fresh on their mind. A third explanation to forgetting is motivated forgetting. Psychosocial therapist Katie Cherry defines suppression as when humans actively try to forget something, like maybe an embarrassing moment you really don't want to remember in the future. Repression is defined as unconsciously pushing down unwanted thoughts or memories. In other words, you're getting rid of these memories without even knowing it. To conclude, psychologists have long studied the human memory and continue to study how we store, retrieve, and forget our memories. Hopefully, you can remember things a little better after getting a little insight into how your own memory works. Thank you.
1,
2,
3,
4,
5,